James Pilcher tells us why they filed the suit.
These are scenes from the music video for rapper Afro Man's song Lemon Pound Cake, recorded in 2023. He gave Local 12 permission to excerpt them. Afro Man uses surveillance video from when Adams County Sheriff's deputies served a search warrant on his house looking for marijuana, based on what they say was a tip from a confidential informant. The deputies didn't find any illegal material, and the rapper never faced any criminal charges. Afro Man, whose legal name is Joseph Foreman, says he made the song and video to recoup losses incurred when deputies broke his front gate and did other damage looking for drugs.
I'm being a sport. I'm singing a humorous song about a man taking too many glances at my mom's lemon pound cake. And he's up in arms in court suing me about this.
All right.
Whoa, Afro Man. Fighting back, dude.
Do you know who he is? First,
I have no idea. Idea.
He's very famous for a song called "Then I Got High," which is pretty funny, and it's kind of like, I'm going to do this great thing in life. Then I got high. I'm going to go get a driver's license.
Oh, I remember.
Then I got high.
Yes, I do remember that song.
And that went completely viral. Great story behind it.
That's the guy.
That's him. Yeah, he recorded it, had given up his whole career. He had like a box of CDs in around 2000. And he was like, you know what? Here, everybody take one. I'm done. And somebody took it, put it up on Napster, and the damn thing went viral before viral was a thing. And that's what put him on the map. Well, in 2023, they went and searched his house, tore everything to pieces, but he had cameras all over the house. So he was like, you know what?
You gotta like that.
I'm going to make a video. So he made a video using the footage of the cops destroying his house and searching everything, mocking the shit out of them. And now they're suing him for using their likeness and things like that. And essentially a crybaby lawsuit. So I'm kind of leaning on him, his side a little bit. Right. And one of the parts that was funny, that's why it's called Yellow Pound Cake, is because it showed one of the cops kind of going like, like looking at the pound cake. Eat the cake.
Yeah. What town was that? Those Keystone cops?
I want to say like Ohio, or I don't know.
Right. Okay.
Somebody have to tell me. I don't know exactly where it was, but it.
Well, either way, happy St. Patrick's Day to you and all the Irish Hunleys of before they came. the Irish eyes are smiling on the Hunleys.
Well, thank you, and happy St. Patty's Day to your Irish half.
Yeah, to us, it's quite real because I go back to Ireland with my genetics, and my dad, obviously Irish, and then his mother, and the rest is history. Yeah, it's weird. It's like I said, being half Jewish and half Irish. Every St. Patrick's Day, I would drive around for hours looking for discount liquors, Hunley.
That's true. And one time, I think isn't that when you got arrested?
On St. Patrick's Day. I just remember that. That's right. Got arrested. I had to take multiple breathalyzer tests because we had a celebratory St. Patrick's Day shot in the ski shop at Hunter Mountain in the morning with the mechanics and some skiers in the ski shop, like a Jägermeister. And then I got pulled over going home from work at like 5:30, and the guy repeatedly breath tested me until it showed up driving while ability impaired, which is a step below in New York State from being DUI. It's like one below it, and was sent to drunk driving school for the rest of my life.
Okay, that's right. And here. Let's share that with the folks so we can. Here's your achievement.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah, it's my failing drunk driving school, which was in Catskill, New York. Well, maybe not. It was in Columbia County, it looks like. The neighboring county to Greene County. In Hudson, I had to go. Wow. That's fucking weird, man. And there's my address back in the days up in Haines Falls, a tiny little town. You could literally walk through it.
Folks, I am not doxing Mark. This is so old. It's not a big deal.
Only 50 years, but yeah, go look for me there now. Anyway, they sent me to drunk driving school, and I failed drunk driving school. I was the only one who was honest in drunk driving school, and everybody else passed, and I failed. I had to go see a guy at some other address in Catskill, which was the county capital of Greene County. And eventually got my license back. But yeah, that was my failed diploma for St. Patrick's Day drunk driving.
Well, you know what? I think might have helped you out. And it's a great time to discuss this. We're talking about sobriety and things like that. Another alternative to drinking a lot of alcohol is you can always have some coffee.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm doing that.
It will keep you sober. It'll keep you alert, and that might have actually helped you out during the time period back then.
I wasn't drunk. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It was like a shot at 8:30 in the morning at work, and then 5:30 at night getting pulled over, and the guy keeps getting trace elements of alcohol because. And I said we had a shot at work this morning for St. Patrick's Day, and he goes, "Sure, you did." It was just a state trooper who was a ball buster. And at one point I said, he was in the car, like he had a device in his own state trooper mobile. And I said, what happens if I don't do this? And he put his hand on his handgun, which was in his holster. And that was some gesture. But then he took me to the trooper barracks, and I had to keep doing it there until something registered of some sort of sub law of drunk driving in the state of New York. DUAI, which is driving while ability impaired, a sub level. But if I would have had that coffee, nothing would have happened.
I don't think so. Yeah, definitely would have. You could have offered him a cup. Who knows? So you could say, cop, you could say, hey, here's some coffee. It's a long day, and set him off on down the path with the Supreme Breakfast Blend or Magic Bullet Blend and get by. And if you all want to try it, there's a QR code right on the screen. You can point your phone at it.
Yeah, keep in mind, this was a resort area, so they were out looking for people as they do every single year on St. Patty's Day. And I just thought, well, I live here. I'm not, a tourist who's drunk, and I was quite confident. And I guess the numbers were low that year, so they had to bring me in.
Well, while you were, celebratory and you have an appreciation for St. Patty's Day as a New Yorker, a more modern New Yorker doesn't really have much good to say on St. Patty's Day. Where you have Donnie, instead of talking about the holiday and everything, he wants to immediately go to Palestine, because obviously Palestine and St. Patty's Day go together.
You mean from this old war that's now been resolved? He's still beating the old resolved war? That's where he goes on St. Patty's Day?
Yeah.
I mean, what triggered this? There's not even any armed conflict there.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like other people. They get certain things stuck in their mind, and no matter what you say, boom, they spit it up.
Right.
No matter what, boom,
spit it up. Good point.
It is a.
I think he's bitter that the war is over. I mean, they literally had to put away those signs, the T-shirts, the protests, the payments to all the protesters. Javier Bardem at the Oscars last night protesting Palestine. They had to inform him that it was over, sadly, from Javier Bardem, who didn't know. He's wearing 80 different Palestine buttons. He thought it was still going on.
Wow. I mean, what flag do they put up now? I guess the Iranian flag. I don't know.
Now it's there. Well, they're a little confused about the Iranian flag because that may make you think that you are anti-Khomeini, anti-regime. It's a little confusing, so they're not.
Well, and then there's two, because there's the one with the lion and then the more modern one. So if you go with the lion, that means you like the Shah, from what I understand. And then the more modern one, not so much. So
right. Also, I think the developments, like we said last week, the things in Cuba happening at lightning speed now.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Is that
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Somebody who's not actually celebrating St. Patty's Day right now, or at least with the lights off, would be Cuba.
Yeah, they have
This
no
exact
power in
moment.
the entire island.
No, it's bad. It is really bad down there.
I mean, we
And
jokingly said this when Venezuela was taken over by Trump for a few days, that the oil would shut down the Cubans, and the Trump administration was correct. I just thought it would take months, not days.
apparently they haven't gotten any oil for 2 months because before Trump even did that, I think it was the shipments were being hampered. Remember, they were grabbing those vessels.
Yeah.
And a lot of them might have been, stopping by Cuba en route to Russia or whatever. And
to go on record right now, there will be reprisal killings when the regime is toppled in Cuba. Just my prediction.
There could
Pent-up
be
violence has been in that island for the people who couldn't leave for 50 years. And the return of, which they're guaranteeing now, the return of former Cuban exiles to the island to have private property, there's going to be reprisals from them, from the people of Miami.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting.
Oh yeah.
And one guy I haven't heard from lately about all that is where's Marco? Because
Marco Rubio, or
you know that he has to have his finger on the pulse of this situation.
Oh yeah, no, of course, absolutely.
Life ambition there. I mean, you can't get much better, but yeah, they it'll be interesting to see what actually happens with Cuba and everything, because before the blackouts even happened, the president was already talking to Trump, already opening diplomatic channels. I think that
they're going to send a group to DC and hammer out some accords for fair and free elections. That's what's going to happen next. Then there's going to be trade between the two, and then there's going to be the reimportation of those Cuban exiles in Miami, which is going to be the most heart-rendering moment of this entire process, because they've waited so long through multiple Democratic administrations who have
multiple generations, for God's sakes.
Right. I mean, going back to the Kennedy administration and even prior, but the toppling of the regime, happens in 58, 59. And then the Kennedys of the Bay of Pigs, and also the Cuban Missile Crisis happens under the Democratic regime.
Yeah, what I like about this, though, is technically we're not doing anything. I mean, there's no troops, nobody's involved. It all was the Venezuela cut them off, and nothing.
Well, I'm sure there's intel going on that island.
I'm sure it's intel, but that's
they have people who have infiltrated the Cuban regime, and the turning off of the juice may have been part of a CIA operation as well.
Perhaps, but they don't have anything to turn on the juice. They have no freaking fuel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a miracle. I'm like, how are you guys driving your cars around? Even seeing them out there, I was like, okay, well, they've got a little bit stored up, I guess, but it's pretty damn ugly. Now, speaking of oil shortage, I don't know if you saw this crazy ass story, but of all things, cremations
are down. What's happening here?
In India.
Oh, where is this?
In India.
Okay.
The Hindus and Buddhists they have cremations, and apparently they need fuel to do cremations. And so they've stopped cremations while the oil situation.
They can't have a cremation after 2 weeks of bombing in another country. I mean, how much oil do they use for these cremations?
Well, honestly,
can't they use some charcoal briquettes from 7-Eleven? I mean, the briquettes could work in a pinch. They run 7-Eleven. They're the ones who own every 7-Eleven in the United States. Call up your cousin Carl and get some briquettes shipped over there for some funeral pyres. For Christ's sakes, I mean, I think they put Gandhi on a raft on the Ganges and set him on fire. They didn't have oil involved in that. They used to use sticks, for Christ's sakes.
Ouch. Well, somehow I don't think that's going to quite work, but
I got 2 words for them. Burning Man. Have a Burning Man festival. That usually works. We don't bring barrels of oil out in the desert. We just have a bunch of sticks.
Okay. Well, there you go.
They're going to have to go old school.
Okay. Sure. That sounds good. So while we're talking about different things, I am going to assume that you watched the Oscars, so I didn't have to.
A tradition as old as time. What questions would you like answered? I didn't see the whole thing because I had to go somewhere in the middle of it, but I saw most of it. And the thing that bothered me the most was the no Sean Penn. And the answer by the presenter was he didn't want to be here. And that was supposed to be a joke on the part of the pseudo comedian actor presenter. And he said, I'll take his award. And he did. I don't know if he physically got the Oscar. He just had the envelope at the end. But they didn't have a video hookup, nor did they have an explanation, because this has happened many times in the past where Marlon Brando is currently working on a film in London with blah, 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 and cannot be here tonight. Accepting the award is Pocahontas. They had nothing for him. No video, no message, no go fuck yourself, no, he couldn't be here, except for this comic who said he didn't want to be here. And I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting. Well, it turns out I found the answer to the mystery early this morning. He was in secret meetings with Zelensky in Kiev, who gave him a metal sculpture Oscar from the wreckage of a train shaped like an Oscar in this secret meeting. Why he needs a secret meeting, an actor, is anybody's guess, but he seems to end up, whether it's El Chapo or Castro or Maduro, or he seems to end up with these world leaders as a deep state operative more often than any actor I've seen in film history. Couldn't be at the Oscars, couldn't accept his Oscar for playing, absolutely mimicking General James Mattis in a movie called Just Another Battle to Come, more battles, and this thinly veiled depiction of the Weather Underground by Paul Thomas Anderson, who won Best Director, Best Writer, and it also one battle after another, also won Best Picture, due to any lack of competition more than anything else. The movie is just unwatchable. The competition was a movie called Sinners, which was a black zombie movie. You could make what you want out of it. It ended up looked like a B-level black zombie movie, which is what it was. Jordan B. Vance was the winner of Best Actor.
I thought it was Michael Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, not
Michael
Jordan B.
Yeah.
Vance. Yeah, I always get this guy's name confused because he has the B in there because of Michael Jordan, the basketball player. No, because he's a SAG member, having done animated, movies.
No. I get it. I mean, it's a weird coincidence because I mean, Michael B. Jordan has made quite a career. I remember him all the way back in The Wire. In the 90s, and then he was Creed, and he's
he's definitely been around. Anyway, he plays twins in this movie Sinners. He plays two of him. I don't know why you needed two of them, but he plays two versions of himself, him and his twin brother. But in the end of the day, it's a black zombie movie that is extremely racist. They kill all the white people by the end of the movie. The Klan shows up from outer space at the end. They machine gun the Klan to death. It's a blaxploitation film. It really is, and I'll talk about it tomorrow on What's Up with Lord Buckley, the movie channel. But just to answer your question, Amy Madigan won for a very interesting film where she plays a witch. That was interesting. And then they kind of like ran out of stuff. Conan O'Brien didn't know what to say. None of the jokes were working. They made a set that had trees and leaves on it for climate change, like the set itself. Instead of traditionally being glitzy with, golden Oscar statues, this had lattice work filled with trees and leaves. And they said
sticky torches.
They said it was for climate change, that we have to look towards a new generation of trees and leaves as sets for the Oscars. And that being said, it's all over. The Oscars are done. It's going to YouTube next year. Then, and they had an entire mocking, Conan O'Brien mocking YouTube commercial series of got that flashlight, the Marine approved flashlight, and they were doing all these parody ads from YouTube that will be the advertisers of next year's Oscars, because the networks have given up. As I predicted a number of years ago, they finally thrown in the towel on these award shows, and the Oscars was kind of the last big one to hang on.
That's so perfect, and I love the irony of you're making fun of the thing that just kicked your ass. Ultimately, that YouTube is still here, and you are falling under it. So, okay, good luck to you. Super chat here, which is a legit question. Mark, who was overlooked in memoriam at the Oscars?
Who was overlooked in memoriam? Well, I mean, you'd have to say one particular guy, because the Oscars did everyone who had passed on, and they short shifted Robert Duvall because they perceived him, and rightfully so, being a conservative. So they didn't leave it out. They just short shrifted Duvall. They showed a little tiny montage of his career, but they went in depth obviously on Rob Reiner. They brought out Billy Crystal. I guess his son, Rob Reiner's son, was watching in prison. No explanation as to how Rob Reiner disappeared. You would almost think that he died of old age by the depiction of what they were doing. There was no mention of what had happened. And then they went into an entire thing of Robert Redford for his passing. Robert Redford, just from an acting skill, couldn't hold Robert Duvall's jock. Just to be honest, an acting skill. I mean, he was really a male model. Then this old sea hag came out named Barbra Streisand, and she went into some whole thing about The Way We Were, and how the movie was her introduction to Robert Redford, and how she fell in love with him on that movie. And it was just like, not real love, platonic love, whatever kind of love they had. She talked about, they talked about Diane Keaton passing. Some woman was standing there talking about Diane Keaton. They refused to mention who put Diane Keaton on the map, and that was Woody Allen, because he's persona non grata. So the Diane Keaton storyline was eliminating the guy who made her, who was her lover, who did put her in these movies, who did win an Oscar with her for Annie Hall. So that was that had to be exorcised. I'm trying to remember what else. Oh yeah, she started singing The Way We Were at the end, Barbra Streisand, from a podium on the right side of the stage, standing behind a podium with a microphone, all of a sudden just starts singing unannounced. Like, I'm going like, holy shit, what is this now? And she's wearing those crazy round sunglasses she wears, and she couldn't read the teleprompter, but she was singing The Way We Were. And she explained that The Way We Were was a movie that was a response to McCarthyism, but it was set in the 1940s, and it opens up before McCarthyism, where Barbra Streisand and the people in the movie are at a protest supporting Joseph Stalin, which she refused to mention last in the Oscars Sunday night, that the movie was really a support of communism and Joseph Stalin, which is the opening scenes are at a protest on a college campus where she's a college kid, and they're protesting the attacks on Stalin, that Stalin is really a great guy, and we support Joe Stalin. She didn't mention that Sunday night. She tried to move the movie into another genre of anti-McCarthyism, but it really shows you how much they supported Stalin, and it becomes this love thing between the two of them, and it doesn't really go anywhere. But the reality of it is, he was not a great actor, and Robert Duvall was. But he had the Sundance Institute, and they talked about all of his political projects. So he gets the trip to the rodeo, and Duvall gets the montage.
Right. I always thought that Redford is like the lesser half with Paul Newman.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Newman was a pretty boy before Redford, but Paul Newman had incredible acting chops.
And was also a race car driver, and had he was far more of an interesting guy. Somebody put in Bardot. Was she stiffed, Bridget? Brigitte Bardot?
I did not see anything for Brigitte Bardot. I saw something for Claudia Cardinelli. I guess she must have been, they didn't like Bardot because of her anti-PETA stance, I think, and some other political stances she may have had.
Yeah, I don't think she likes trans very much.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, so she's
Yeah,
out. She's out. Look, they'll stalk you into the afterlife. These people, they will. I mean, they put up so many bizarre executives and weirdos that no one's ever heard of, and positions that have no real reason to be in the memoriam. Casting agent, assistant producer on a film, and I mean, it's just a bizarre list. And that, which I don't mind, except that they left off real people.
Of course they did. Oh well, yeah. It's off to die. I still like Ricky Gervais. I wish he was hosting it and laying into everybody.
Well, the jokes were so bad by Conan. I don't know who to blame except Conan himself, because he's a writer and he knew those jokes were going to bomb, and he's constrained by their political rope that they can't go off anywhere off the reservation. So he's kind of constricted, but this is his second year. I doubt that he's going to ever be back. YouTube is going to produce their own thing from scratch, I think.
Yeah, it'll be Mr. Beast hosts the
Mr. Beast. Yeah, he'll be there with the flashlight ads, the marine flashlights, and the different weight loss products. It's kind of actually funny, who they're going to sell these ads to.
Well,
but that being said, the only ads that the Oscars had were from Pfizer.
Of course.
That was the only ads they had. The rest were promotions for shows. So they couldn't sell those slots. Normally, if you're promoting a show, which they did dozens and dozens of times, different various Hulu, Disney shows, everything else,
sure,
that means you couldn't sell those slots. And that was quite telling on the final year of the Oscars.
Well, what'll be interesting is when it goes to YouTube, watch it have better ratings. Watch more people potentially watch it, which would be adding to the embarrassment. Like if Mr. Beast does do it, or somebody of his kind, and they have like 50 million people watch it or something, that would be.
Well, it's a wider net, right? The YouTube clearly has a wider net than ABC, national ABC channel.
True, but I'm sure they probably streamed it too. It probably was on.
Yeah, no, of course.
So
yeah,
I mean, it's like,
but it's being streamed on Hulu. You have to have a subscription for that. Every single model that they're using is a sub model.
True. All right. Well, while we're talking about people who don't seem to be trustworthy, or it's very interesting. Shock announcement of today was Joe Kent.
It wasn't shocking to not one person knew who he was. I just watched two-way moments before the show. No one on the show had ever heard of him.
Mark had, and Mark
barely
said,
though.
No, but it was interesting though what he said when he goes, "Well, didn't he run for something in Washington?" He said, "I always thought he's kind of a lightweight, right?"
Yeah,
I remember him saying that on the side.
Yeah, but that was the extent of it. They really didn't know what was going on with this story, and then he put up the tweet and said, "This guy," basically implying this guy's a flake.
You're right. That might be it.
Right,
flake.
Eric?
Yeah. A lightweight flake. I couldn't remember which it was. And
I mean, this is J.D. Vance's next chief of staff.
This is apparently J.D. Vance was notified. From what I'm seeing, he came with Tulsi to see J.D. Vance, or he came to her and J.D. Vance and Tulsi and supposedly J.D. Vance, or whatever. They said, "Hey, why don't you go talk to the president and don't blindside him?" And we could see how that worked out.
Ooh, interesting, Eric.
Where it gets really interesting, and it's so many things are quickly coming in. I can't verify it, so I haven't verified this, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was true. Here's one of his upcoming public appearances. Look at this. He's going to be part of the Catholics for Catholics event.
What the hell?
Breaking, just confirmed, former director. Now, why am I bringing this up? Let me see. Who else is going to this event? Let me see. Oh, Candace Owens.
Oh,
How are you
my
doing?
God.
Oh, wait. Carrie Prejean, the Timo Megan Kelly. She's also going. So this event, there was a lot of criticism I remember about this event, and Candace Owens are like, wait, how are we doing this with her? And then Carrie Prejean. I'm not going to say anything about Matt Walsh because he's kind of a well-known Christian, Catholic, conservative type for a long, long time. I mean, nothing surprising there, but very interesting to see. All of a sudden, boom, there he is. And apparently he's booked on
Tucker.
Of course.
No, we're laughing now, but we're not going to be laughing during the midterms in 2028 when they take down the entire party. This thing's growing in strength because of their insanity about the Middle East. They're obviously nuts. They're obviously crackpots. This thing has taken on a life of its own, and they are going to take down the Republican Party if it's the last thing they do, Eric. And they are determined to destroy Trump and destroy his entire administration.
Well, and it turns out that, he may have something in common with Jimmy Kimmel in terms of this. Who is his wife? Now,
oh, yeah.
Joe Kent got famous because he is a Gold Star family member because his first wife was killed overseas. However, his second wife, guess who she works for?
Oh, come on. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Blumenthal.
Maxi Blumenthal? That's insane. The biggest Jew hater in the world?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God. This can't be true.
And I suppose it's a complete shock and surprise to you that his resignation letter would blame everything on Israel, including Iraq.
Wow. I saw that. He put in a little Iraq thing. How do these people they never explain how these people keep getting deceived. I mean, how did they deceive him? I'd like to know the secret sauce. They come in and they say what? They use the hypnosis that Candace has talked about, a secret hypnosis that they have. How is Trump so smart, but he is deceived on this thing that's going to end in a couple of weeks without boots on the ground? How did this schmuck destroy his entire career over some insane anti-Semitic conspiratorial Jew hatred? I mean, Trump said, "Glad to see you go, bro." I mean, he basically said, "Don't let the door hit you in the ass."
Here we go.
President, your director of national counterterrorism, Joe Kent, he just resigned today. He said he can't support your conflict with Iran. What's your reaction to that? And did you?
Well, I read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy. But when I read his statement, I realized that it's a good thing that he's out because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was. The question is whether or not they wanted to do something about it.
Well, even Joe Kent for many years cited Iran as a threat. Am I wrong?
Oh, all the way up, got his job. He was writing that in 2024.
Yeah.
I think he wrote even last month.
Oh, my God. They got to him somehow.
Yeah, here. Somebody who's been shredding Joe Kent is Michael Tracy, who has just.
I like Michael Tracy. Yeah.
He can be. Well, we've had our fun with Michael Tracy, but anyway. Here is 2023. Joe Kent condemns attacks on Israel and Biden Perez's weak leadership. So he talked about that, and there's even more recent stuff. I mean, like I said,
what happened to this guy since that letter till today? Is it Tucker? Is it Candace? Is it the whole troop of these Jew-hating cabal tied in with Tucker as their leader? What is the secret sauce here?
From what I've been told, and again, I've got to confirm everything, he was the leaker.
He was the leaker of what? Everything?
Of Yeah, a lot of things going on here. Here's September 29th,
Wow.
2024, by the way.
Holy
Again,
shit.
Michael Tracy all over it. And
Joe
here we go. So
Tracy.
remember, he said Iran was not a threat, right?
Right.
That was his resignation.
Yeah.
But here's an important thread. Iran's goal in orchestrating 7 October was to break up the Abraham Accords because the historic alliance isolated Iran's terror regime. Trump used to balance the diplomacy, economic pressure, blah, blah, blah. I mean,
When was this? 2 years ago?
yeah. So
This is
September
insane. What
2024.
happened? They ought to take this guy and take his brain and find out what the hell happened to this guy in 24 months.
I don't even think it's been 24 months. There's
Maybe
been,
12 months.
Yeah, there's been more recent tweets and things like that he has put out. You know, like saying, that Trump was under threat. Iran definitely was a threat. So,
Oh, wow. So he's been on this thing for a while on Trump's side, and all of a sudden he flips. Somebody said he might be running for Congress again. This might be a ploy.
well, he might be, and apparently he just barely became a Republican in 2021.
Oh, my God.
He
This goes to the question of how these people get inside the Trump administration in the first place. Like, everyone's a good guy to Trump. You seem like a good guy. What the fuck qualification is that? He seemed like a good guy. Yeah, he had a gold star wife. I go, so?
and he's
What does
also
that
a veteran. Trump has a weakness for soldiers.
Oh,
And
dude, he's a
Kent
weakness
was
for a
special
lot of shit.
Well, okay, hot women and soldiers.
Okay.
I guess, but it is what it is.
I just think General Mattis should sue Sean Penn for stealing his identity in one battle after another, from his hairdo to his quirks to his body language to every single thing that he stole. I brought it up with a big acting star last week who was going to confront him about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he's getting to I explained it to this huge star friend of mine, and he was like, oh, really? I go, oh, yeah. He said, I'm going to ask him when I see him. I said, okay, get back to me.
All right. And by the way, just to be transparent, I interviewed Joe Kent probably in 21 or 22 when he was running in Washington State one of the times. I don't really remember everything we talked about. It wasn't my favorite interview I ever did, but I just thought he thought I was some piece of shit YouTuber and didn't really
What?
care. So,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
it was like I didn't have a great vibe, but I don't really remember much about it. So I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, I suspected. It's not that. It just kind of felt like he was just sort of going through the motions, and you know how that sometimes goes. When you were interviewing different people for the publications, sometimes you'll hit somebody and they're like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, a lot of times. Yeah, a lot of times.
So I'll have to look that one up and see what it was.
What do you make of this whole Tucker CIA text message reading indictment to the DOJ storyline?
Okay, my personal opinion.
No, I
and
want
I'm waiting
someone
for the
else's
comment. No, I'm
opinion.
waiting for the comment section to come in and go.
I want
"Here
your,
we
of course
go,
I want
talking
your
with Tucker
opinion.
again."
Of course I want your opinion.
I think it's just an escalation of his little boy crying wolf. Remember, he was held at the airport in Israel. It was so scary, Mark. It was so scary when he was
so you think
hugging the guard.
He made this up like he did with, you think he's the source of this?
Why not? I mean,
he's referring himself to the DOJ.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Because
who knows with this guy anymore? Who knows?
They're already out there saying they're trying to shut him up. They're going right along at Glenn Greenwald, etc. Oh, by the way, I did see this chat. Where do I find my silver, Mark? I mean,
that mean?
If we got our pieces of silver, where is it? I want my silver.
Who is Jesus in this storyline, though? Who is Jesus? No. Let me answer the question, because obviously you're stumped. They are perceiving Tucker Carlson to be Jesus Christ, the Lord who died for your sins. Alan Hughes is talking about us getting their pieces of silver as Judas in ratting out their.
I think it came in during Joe Kent, though, so I'm not going to say.
Okay, Joe Kent is Jesus. That's even lower.
Apparently, yeah.
He's that's a lower level Jesus.
I agree.
The Tucker Jesus was pretty weird. Okay, Joe Kent is Jesus. What a nut. Get the fuck off the channel, Hughes. What a nut.
Anyway, but I'm just kind of like, it's like the whole $7,000 thing that everybody throws around. It's like,
Yeah.
please give me $7,000 here, please.
Well,
I could use it.
What is next for Tucker? Because he seems like he's running out of options. He's got Buckley Carlson over there, his anti-Semitic sidekick, running J.D. Vance's office, apparently. Where does this go? His son,
brother, his brother. Ooh, look up his brother, Mark. If you really want,
which one is Buckley? Is that his brother or the son?
Oh, it's both, his son and brother. His brother was named after
that's
William
why it's
Buckley,
confusing, right?
And then he's named his son after his brother.
Oh my God!
But keep this in mind: Tucker's the good one
of the three.
Well, no, I'm not. His son's probably. I'm not going to worry about his son. I'm going to leave him out of it.
God.
But his brother, between his brother and Tucker, Tucker's the good one.
Right.
And it's amazing. If you want to be amazing, go look up Buckley. Buckley.
What about Milo? He used to be Tucker years ago. Remember Milo? He was radioactive, and now they're calling for his deportation back to England.
Well, Milo is such an interesting character. I don't know if you remember, because you weren't really following much before 2015 timeframe or whatever.
Oh no, definitely not.
Milo, when he came on the scene, he was working for Breitbart. He came out of Gamergate, and he got ran out of the Conservative Party because he talked about how he was groomed by an older man when he was young, and how he thought that it was very good for young, homosexuals to be groomed.
Oh, I remember that.
By an adult.
Maybe I've seen that video, I think.
Joe Rogan, and he did it somewhere else, and they were kind of going, okay, you've got to go. And that pushed him out. Then he got banned all over the place. Then he kind of latched on to Marjorie Taylor Greene, was I think he was like her campaign manager. He was working with her.
Right.
Then he latched on to Kanye West. And
right.
And Milo has this. Milo is kind of like Truman Capote of the conservatives, if you will.
A great writer. He's a great novelist.
He's a very talented speaker, but no. Truman Capote made it a habit. I don't know if you remember, of every person he knew, he wrote about. It was like he would collect everything about everybody and gossip the shit out of them. And by the time he died, he had like no friends left or anything because he trashed them all. Milo makes it a point of saying how he has blackmail material on just about every single person.
Whoa, sounds like a Jeffrey Epstein of the gay community.
He has a lot of information.
He's a gay Epstein. Now, what about Tucker continuing to be obsessed with Hitler? What is your take on his Hitler obsession?
Well,
now saying that Hitler didn't have a beef with the Jews, never called for their annihilation. It's all been made up. It's David Irving 2.0. Where is he going with this Hitler stuff? It's so easily verifiable that he's making shit up when it comes to Hitler.
My thought is that when you start to go to Hitler, people aren't listening, so you're yelling louder.
Well, it's kind of funny because there's plenty of records of Hitler talking about making Europe
like Mein Kampf,
Juden-free. But my favorite Hitler story about the Jews, and it's one that tops all of them, came out in a memoir by his secretary in the 1970s, 1980s. She wrote a memoir, and she was there when Hitler took his own life in the bunker. And was there to write down the notations of his final thoughts. This was his secretary. She was writing down everything Hitler said at the end. And his final words were, my biggest failure in life, my biggest regret was not eradicating the Jews from Europe. And so not only is he about to end his life, this was his biggest regret in all of the things that he did. That he failed at this one thing.
So what you're saying is he's consistent.
Oh, he was consistent, my friend. This guy was obsessionally consistent.
And yes, he did give it a hell of a try, Colonel.
He gave it a great try.
I don't know of anyone who was more.
And imagine after millions and millions of lives lost. Forget about the Holocaust. The insanity of World War II, the Stalingrad debacle, all of the things that he went through. His biggest regret was that he didn't make Europe Judenfrei.
Well, yeah.
But Tucker knows better than most of the historians.
Oh, no, a lot of people do. I mean, Nick Fuentes, Tucker, I mean, you saw the pattern coming when Daryl Cooper was, on there as the most important, remember that, the most important historian of the day. And then a Churchill expert.
Oh, right.
Literally said, I'll talk to him. I'll talk to Cooper. And Cooper's like, no. I've got the guy's books on my shelf. There's no way I'm debating that guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Your most important voice in the world. But there you go. I mean, I'm seeing people celebrating Joe Kent, just so happy.
Who's happy?
Over the moon because he's saying Israel. And
I see.
like,
but this is a tiny
resignation
percentage.
letter is this? I mean, come on.
Nobody even knew who this guy was on two-way.
Well, not on two-way, but unfortunately,
I mean, if
a lot of people
right
don't
into
right to.
Modern day politics, I use them as a barometer of normal.
That's fair.
Politics, Eric, not some far corner of YouTube with some crazed Nazi, people dressed in Nazi outfits having a podcast.
No, I understand that. I'm just
saying they could be yelling in their quiet room in the basement, but who's hearing them?
Well,
JD Vance might be hearing them. Maybe he's the one hearing them.
Yeah, he is hearing them, and I look at it this way: it was important enough, and as a problem enough, that Caroline Leavitt wrote this very long response.
Good for her.
To this letter, saying first off, there's the lies that are in the letter.
Well, she has to respond because the first group that's going to jump on it are the Democrats, saying that we were right, his own people are abandoning the ship. The damage that Joe Kent has done is to the Republican brand and to the Trump administration. He hasn't, done anything to support his Nazi cause. He has just given a sword, to use the words of Richard Nixon, to his enemies.
No, he gave a black eye to Trump. Now, apparently, and I think potentially a black eye to Tulsi, because there's some rumors going around that they knew that he was a problem and he was not allowed in presidential briefings already. So I have a feeling because of that and some other statements, and I haven't, I can't confirm this. It's not like I'm there. There's also statements going around that she was told about him, but she didn't actually fire him. So this might have been I'm going to be let go or sent down the road anytime.
I better do this while I have the gravitas of the office.
Exactly, and do them. And look at, the resignation letter is maximum damage possible. That was a nasty letter. I don't care how you put it.
He just made so many enemies in the Republican camp that he's going to have to switch parties. I don't know where this guy's life goes. Switch back to the Democratic Party of Washington State. He might have been a plant from day one.
That's what some people
again, I've said this for 100 years. 100% of Trump's problems are self-inflicted through poor staffing. I'm not talking separate from the Democrats and the media, separate from the actual enemies of him. Most of his problems come from his own doing in terms of staffing.
And being a nice guy.
Well, but that's part of it. That's part of the thing I'm talking about. This goes back to the first term, and it just doesn't go away. He seemed like a nice guy, should be put on in his obituary. As a quote about 9 million different people who seemed like a nice guy. What the fuck kind of metric is that?
How many times have I said that the biggest irony with Trump of all is the guy who did The Apprentice, which is all about hiring and firing people, is probably the worst. Never put Trump in charge of your HR. You're screwed.
Well, never put a CEO in charge of hiring and firing. That's why you have an HR.
True.
Because they're literally out of touch with the working man, the average person, the average hire. You don't expect the CEO of IBM to be hiring and firing people down below. That's insane. And yet here we have you know, this situation again for the 9 millionth time of him being bit on the ass by somebody he approved.
I agree. I think what he really needs, and I don't know that he has anyone, because, you know, he likes to get involved and micromanage. He needs, in the military, you have a position that's called the XO, or as you go down line, you can have a first sergeant with company commander. But like a colonel, you know, he runs the division, you know, what have you, and he's loved. You know, in general, they're the nice guy. They make the decisions, right? Just under them is the XO, and that's the hatchet man. That's the bastard.
He won't delegate a hatchet man. He will not do it, Eric, and that's part of his mental problem.
Yeah. I mean,
he won't do it. You're absolutely correct. It's been done in every walk of life, going back to the Roman legions, for Christ's sakes. This guy is a meddler in chief, and I mean that in a good way and a bad way.
He's a full package.
Yeah.
He is people should study him for decades to come, because he literally is a very complex case, and a full, well-rounded person.
Well, that being said, it's so funny because it's always shocking to me. People are asking me on Twitter, you know, is it possible for him to end the war without boots on the ground? There is a drop-dead date in his mind, right? Mm-hmm. And his enemies would like him to provide that drop-dead date. And some of his supporters would like that drop-dead date. Well, if the Iranians had that drop-dead, I mean, use your own military mind, you semi-military mavens out there. If you gave because you are a nervous Nelly living in Iowa who got burned by the Iraq war, if Trump gave you the date, all Iran would have to do would be to hold on to that fucking date. I don't get why people don't get this. I mean, it's military politics 101, and yet they're shaking in their boots, saying there's going to be boots on the ground, saying this is a new Iraq, and they still don't get that Trump won't do this. They still don't get it. And yet they completely get sucked in every time he does something militarily. They won't let him saber rattle. They want the date so they could go to sleep at night when this thing's going to end. And you can't have it that way in world geopolitics. It's just shocking how bereft they are of geopolitical knowledge. It really is shocking.
Well, and we are so spoiled.
Yeah.
As a nation. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right.
We want to know blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
No.
Right, but I'm saying, how can you know and also have a military advantage against your enemy because you and your wife in Des Moines, Iowa want to know shit? Exactly. I mean, clearly you can understand this, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that you can't know everything in the middle of a war. And he has a plan. And where I was starting to say before I went off on this sidetrack, he has a drop dead date where he has already calculated that it would do damage on the midterms, whether that's a week from now, 2 weeks from now, or 3 weeks from now. He knows when he is going to declare victory and get the fuck out, with or without a regime being changed. Everybody knows this, except for the American people who support him. They seem completely baffled by this because of George Bush and the damage that he did to the American name in terms of military incursions into foreign countries. It has to be the exact same war, according to these people today, because the Bush people did this thing back in the old days in the early noughts. So Trump has to copy them, and I'm being sarcastic, for reasons that make absolutely no sense. You know what I'm saying, Eric? Obviously, Trump has called out the Bush dynasty over and over and over again for the debacles that they've made militarily. So, of course, he has to copy them because that's the only logical thing that could possibly happen. It's ridiculous.
You mean it's like children in the car going cross country saying, are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
Are we done yet?
It sounds like it.
Are we there yet?
It sounds like it to me.
Yeah.
It sounds like that to me. It's just, and then he's got his detractors on the right who just will beat this drum and will disappear when the drum is no longer there for them to beat. It's almost like the pro-Palestinian people. The Gaza war has ended, and now they don't know what to fucking do with themselves. The same thing happened post-Vietnam. The post-Vietnam protest people didn't know what to do with themselves after the war ended.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is that, and I hate to say, but winning is complicated. You know, like the old statement, you know, it's easy to run for office. It's very difficult to run the office.
Right.
You
But
know,
it's just shocking to me how little faith they have in a guy they voted for. It's just shocking. They will not give this guy one fucking inch of wiggle room to do anything. Well, they weren't shooting the nukes at me on Tuesday, and I like Tuesday, and I was going to go into town on Tuesday, and now my gas is $3.50. How dare you? How dare you? Couldn't you take it out after taking out the nukes after I was dead? Why does it have to be in my lifetime, Mr. Trump?
well, what I really think it is, though,
Yeah.
is ironically, they like to say he's working for Netanyahu.
Oh,
I mean, isn't that no?
I
That's
mean,
a big
okay.
claim. But
I agree.
hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
They're really pissed off though,
Yeah.
because he's not working for them, because he has a mind of his own, and it's like, whoa! You are supposed to do what we told you.
It's retarded.
You
It's complete
work for
infantile
us.
belief system. Completely retarded. Completely retarded. There's two things I was talking about. I wasn't talking about the fringe element. I was talking about the rank and file Republicans who, at this point, almost have a 90% approval on his military incursion into Iran. That approval is, I think it's about 86 or 87% to be accurate. That approval are the people who really know what he's doing there, who really know that this is a short-term operation,
Or at least will pause.
Yeah.
And wait.
Yeah.
And see.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, maybe I don't have enough personal self-confidence to say this is going to happen or that is going to happen, because I don't pretend that I know everything. So that's why I'm
you don't have enough information. You don't have all the information.
Let me see what it looks like in a month, and then I can react to what it is at that point. You know, I'll have more information. But no, everybody's made their decision now. Like, oh, it's a debacle. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Oh, it's.
How is he deceived by this guy, by the way? This guy comes over, Netanyahu, and he has his own intelligence, Trump, probably the most expensive, the most advanced intelligence in the world. But this guy somehow comes over and deceives him through some magic mumbo jumbo, which no one ever explains. What's that?
It's Rasputin.
Yeah, he's Rasputin.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, it's Rasputin, and he puts him in a trance. It's so insane. It exposes your complete ludicrousness. Your theory is laughable. It makes you into a schmuck. The great statement by Trump, by the way, Mark Levin, a guy who, again, you know, I'm not addicted to Mark Levin. I've been following him since I was younger, you know, since he was on Fox, and I just took it for granted. What raised the antenna on my head with this extreme crazy wing of the Republican Party was, out of the blue, this incredible attack on Mark Levin. This is months and months and months ago, Eric. And from various sources, I'm going like, what is this now? I mean, I've read his books on American Marxism that are brilliant. I mean, I'm going like, why the fuck are they attacking this guy? And it was obviously because of Israel. And that was the beginning of the insanity awareness for me. Once they went after him as if he was some sort of magic mystic. I didn't understand their attacks on him. And Trump coming out and throwing down yesterday, Eric, did you read that? Almost, I mean, throwing kind of Megyn Kelly under the bus.
Oh, no, he's let them know, and that's
heavy,
why,
Eric.
Oh, well, if you look at, there's already a tone shift with them. Megyn Kelly has gone from I would die before I do that to well, I was friends with him and I was betrayed by Ben Shapiro at AmFest. So there's already a little bit of cry bully aspect. But hold on, I saw this in the chat. I'm like, can I make this a t-shirt? I'm doing
his
performative reasonable.
What is that?
I like that. Performative reasonableness.
Well, I don't know what that is, but calling Mark Levin a micro penis, is this worthy of a person like Megyn Kelly to get into the gutter about it? What is her problem, Eric?
Well,
What
again,
is the deal
if
with
you
this
don't have
chick?
an argument,
Micro,
it's like,
really? You had to get into a sexual name calling thing with this older gentleman? I mean, what the fuck?
well, it shows that deep down she's a mean girl.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, but it's like when you go all the you wipe it all away, and it's junior high.
Well, it's
Right?
one-sided junior high because this is not coming from him. I mean, it's just a one-sided thing.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, but it's actually perfect. I'm glad that she did.
Yeah.
She revealed herself.
I agree.
And then his response was perfect. He goes, "Well, I find that troubling that you're worried about other men's penises and everything else."
Yeah, it is a little.
And he just laid her out.
He just laid her out.
And
He just laid her out.
if she had any sense about it, she'd know she lost. That was.
She doesn't have sense. She's a chick. She's just going to keep looking at other shiny objects and buy herself some more nails, press-on nails, and get her hair done, and just keep going.
Right, but what I'm wondering is when are we going to be able to not tell her and Carrie Prejean apart? Because they're
the same person.
One person.
They're the
They could be
same
stunt
person.
doubles right now.
Yeah, they're the same person.
I've seen them standing side by side though in a picture, so I'm like, okay, it's possible that they're really
This door opened with somebody in the Republican Party a number of years ago. This beauty queen. I don't know who the first one through the door was, but sure as hell, a lot of them followed through.
I agree. And by the way, whatever people want to say about Sarah Palin, she doesn't do this shit.
No, absolutely not. She was a pro. Whatever you want to say about her, that chick was able to maneuver.
Yeah, and she's not out there trashing, not out there, whatever. But while we've got that, I mean, this is another major story. We've got a bunch of super chats I want to get to as well.
Okay, go ahead, go.
But top Iran. While we're talking about Iran, their top guy, this guy who was walking through the streets to say, ha, 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 well, he's gone.
Well, not only that, this morning on two-way, they were citing him as someone who may be the next leader of Iran. And they were putting him up there. They had video of him, and Mark and Larry were talking about that he was like the speaker of their Senate, and he's been involved in the killing of thousands of Iranian dissidents, according to Larry. So not sad to see this scumbag go. But whoever keeps moving up the ladder, they keep taking out, Eric.
Yeah, this guy, though, I believe they were talking about how he might be a real blow. Like he's is it Stephen Miller? Sorry, he's like a Stephen Miller of Iran. Like a really strong.
He was a big fish. He was
player.
A big fish. He was also the speaker of the leader of the Senate, whatever their Senate is. So he's had political positions before in the regime, but they might be in name only. You might be correct. They might just be nominal positions of power.
I get the impression though that he really had influence. So like he
was
the
no
last
doubt
guy
about
standing.
Right. I'm saying that
notes.
his name jobs might have just been name jobs. He really was. He was a guy who was on TV being cited by CNN and everyone else this past couple of weeks. So they're gonna have to get a new guy.
Absolutely. Now, the interesting thing is that the new guy who replaced the old guy, the supreme leader, well, they have been talking about it for a while, and I always thought it was interesting. They were saying that the former supreme leader, Ayatollah, whatever, really did not want his son to get the role, and supposedly it's because he didn't want it to be a monarchy and he didn't want it to run down. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Okay.
Not sure why, but that's interesting. Well, it turns out, I guess Trump was just briefed on this. There might have been another reason for it.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Oh, my Lord.
There was the rumor.
Oh, my God.
That the son.
Mojaba
is this guy here apparently he may have other things going on, and before people get critical and say things, there have been studies done on this, that in repressive societies, the percentage of homosexuals,
Oh, froze up. As soon
and
as he
the
said homo,
reason
it froze
for
up.
that, because it seems counterintuitive, is they are not accepted by society. They're suppressed. They are in mortal danger. And one way to cover is to be sure you have a beard and be sure you have as many kids as
You mean
possible.
a real beard?
Well, that too. A
Oh,
beard,
a beard. You're
symbolically
saying
and in
symbolically
reality.
and a real beard.
And when you have that situation, you have children. Well, guess what? If being gay is okay in society, like, in here, it's okay in society, right? Most gay couples don't have children. I know that some do or whatever, but in general, they don't. So the genetic component, it doesn't propagate. But if you're suppressing it, it propagates even more. Now, I don't, again,
Now, is he a
I'm not saying it's
disfigured
bad.
at this point? Is he a disfigured homosexual in your opinion?
The rumor is that he has been disfigured because of the bombing, through at least losing a leg and potentially other things happening. But I don't know the full detail, unless you're going further on that.
No, I don't know what part of his body has been disfigured. So it's kind of a weird phrase to use in a war, that someone was disfigured, a leader militarily.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't heard that disfigurement phrase.
Yeah,
I mean, I know what
leg.
Disfigurement means, but I haven't heard it used in this context.
Right. Now, I heard leg and I heard coma.
Oh, you heard leg, really?
And coma. I don't know, beyond
I've heard
that.
coma. I heard coma too. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But and you're right. I mean, losing a leg, I guess that's disfigurement, but I usually think of disfigurement.
No, I think of the
like your
face. I think the
something.
face
Yeah.
is melted, or
or burn scars,
or the
yeah,
crowd
yeah.
I saw from Milwaukee yesterday at Camelback Ranch, the people who came down from the frozen tundra of Wisconsin to see the Brewers. I've never seen uglier. I don't even know what these people were, Eric. I mean, I saw people with elephantitis. I saw a guy with a melted face. I saw women from Milwaukee that I never want to see again. I mean, I was horrified by the fan base. They shouldn't have been allowed in the stadium.
Look at Mark, winning friends left and right. Thank you, Mark. Okay, let's go to super chat. So
Okay.
at least we can pretend.
Shout out to the Milwaukee Brewer fans. Just kidding.
All right. Pamela, happy Tuesday, guys. I'm working all day at the cleaner, so I'll watch you on locals, even on my phone when I have to leave. Well, thank you, Pamela. She's super, super loyal and always supportive of us. And she likes my thumbnails. So
She does?
I appreciate that. Yes. What is this? The Mungazi or Mungaz 4? I don't know. Thanks for the content, gentlemen. What's your take on the Iran conflict at this time? It's underway, as we've been
I think I'll just say this. They were firing 300 missiles a day. They're down to 22 a day. I mean, it's just a finite situation. Unless you're able to be armed from the Soviet Union or China through North Vietnam, you're going to run out of the shit that you have there in Iran, and you could just wear them down until there's nothing left, which looks like essentially what's happening.
Right. And you've got to, some of you got to do some cleanup, like whoever's buying drones or deploying drones, things like that. You kind of have to get into the little level stuff now.
Right. But I'm saying just the sheer volume of rocketry is off by 90% now. They're down to about 20 to 25 launches a day, from 300 to 400 a day. So you do the math at home, people.
Yeah.
There's no Costco for them to go to, or Missiles R Us.
That's true. K-Dog, $20. Thank you. So the left is for oil for Cuba. That island is perfect for windmills and solar panels.
Well, that's what it's going to have to be, because they're now heading down there. Some Democratic congressional group of supporters of the brutal regime to try to prop it up. That's even funnier.
I'm like, okay. I mean,
here you are in the last days of this communist totalitarian regime, and your dream is dying. Let me just tell you this. Trump is killing their dream around the world. Cuba has always been held up by the left as this socialist model of reading and medical care and whatever you want to call it. But for the people who live there, they've lived under a brutal repressive regime since 1960. For them, it's been 60 years of totalitarianism. And for the left, it's just a model of fun socialism and reading and learning and getting free medical care. I mean, the dichotomy is so enormous as to be deranged.
Well, Michael Moore is symbolic of that. I mean, he did the whole love letter with, was it Sicko? I think he did a documentary.
Yeah, Sicko.
When he went down there celebrating. Of course, they, had a sequestered area. He got the special hospital. When I was taking care of Cubans in Guantanamo Bay, I learned about doctors in the 90s. Do you know what doctors in Cuba have to do? They're lucky they drive cabs because they have no money. They're starving. So it is not this great paradise.
Oh, it is if you get free medical care every day. So it depends whose ox is being gored, Okay. But the point of the matter is there is nobody supporting their regime anymore. Again, this socialist model, unless you have a benefactor like the Soviet Union, you can't do this. You don't create anything. There's no wealth. It's all a phony, fictitious political model that doesn't exist. LA is now going after, just to digress a tiny bit of another socialist model, they're going to put like a 50% tax on Uber pickups at the terminal on top of, and they said, don't worry, the Uber driver will bear the brunt of the tax. Okay, I shouldn't worry about that. That's very nice. The state of California is now going to tax your savings account of little Jimmy, who's got a savings account. In other words, they're coming up with these different harebrained schemes because their socialist model is dying economically. It has to be artificially supported to perpetuate itself because it creates nothing. It has to take other people's money to live. It is a vampire model of economics.
I agree. And I always love I'm going to say short-sightedness to be kind and not go to full stupidity.
Right.
But don't worry, the Uber drivers are going to bear the brunt of it.
That's what they said.
So where do you think they're going to get their money? They're going to raise the damn rates. I mean, what is wrong with you? It's like, obviously, if they are going to get charged, they don't work for free. They are going to pass the cost on. The cost ultimately goes to you, the consumer.
Well, they don't want anyone taking an Uber. They said that. They want you to take this people mover that is not completed because of graft and corruption, this train to the plane, so to speak, that New York has had for many, many years and other cities have. They're being held up by the construction company who saw a great opportunity because they were told they had a ticking clock to finish it. If you tell a construction company there's a ticking clock to finish this thing, they go, thank you. Thank you. Now we can wait till the end and stick a gun to your head. Oh, I didn't understand that. I'm just a housewife on the city council. I didn't understand how this works. Well, you should have asked Trump, because once you gave them a deadline of the Olympics, they just started eating candy and sitting around waiting to charge you additional money and overtime for the last year or two of their construction. Thank you for your housewife intelligence.
I am a believer in deadlines, though. It just usually goes the other way. And the deadlines are, if you fill this requirement by this date,
you could give incentives. You could give incentives.
No. But if you miss this deadline, you will be fined.
They didn't either. And I say the word housewife because the entire LA Board of Supervisors are housewives. I said the word housewives because the entire LA City Council are housewives. I'm not just being, flippant about this term. That's what they do. They're housewives.
I'm surprised they're all married to men.
Not all of them are. There's a couple of lesbos in there.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Patriot Biker. Hope this will be the last year for a political Oscar. Nope. I don't see that.
I don't think that's going to happen, but it was a lot less this year. They were far less grandstanding.
Well, I was just thinking about the environmental theme. Also, could be we had no budget for a set, so we had to go to Walmart.
They had a guy. They had introduced a guy who was the conductor of the orchestra, who was wearing some black dude wearing a turban and a cape attached to a turban on his head. It was like a white do-rag that traipsed down over his back. And I'm going like, who the fuck is this clown? You know what I mean? It's been a classy operation for 97 years. And all of a sudden they went with this guy with a do-rag on his head. It looked like JB Smoove out of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Wow. All right.
Well, and where is Sean Penn? That's my favorite line of the Oscars.
Well, people in the chat were saying that they heard he was sick, but you mentioned Zelensky. I'm like, I meant to say earlier, didn't he give his Oscar to Zelensky?
Yes, before? Absolutely.
So shouldn't he be getting a new?
There's a photo op that Zelensky. Apparently, I haven't seen it, but apparently Zelensky released a photo of him and Sean Penn the night of the Oscars. They are in their boxer shorts eating popcorn on Zelensky's couch watching the actual Oscars. Now, come on.
Wow.
Come on.
Well, hopefully he changed his tennis shoes. I don't know if you remember his shoes that he was wearing with Bill Maher. He looked
the obvious connection that I made was one cokehead was bringing a kilo of coke to a guy who's boxed in, needing a helping hand from one of his snorting buddies. Nobody is closer to these two guys as a drug than cocaine itself. Well,
the guy visited El Chapo. I'm sure he did like cocaine.
Oh, I think it's an open secret here in Hollywood. Ask Charlie Sheen about it.
Wow. All right. Well, Sam, THN1Q is a new member. Thank you very much. Sophisticated Hicks with the Rumble rant said, Mark ain't sugarcoating anything today, and I love it.
Yeah, I've been on vacation in Arizona, there's no sugarcoating in Arizona. They are a harsh people there, Eric, as you're well aware. They don't tolerate bullshit in Arizona. They're almost like cowboys. You know what I'm saying, Eric? There's a real, among the Arizonans, the multi-generational, there is a cowboy mentality among them that I've seen, over the years going there. And that's obviously in Prescott, going up to Prescott and other places. I mean, guys are on horseback up in Prescott, but even in areas outside of Phoenix, there is still a cowboy-like mentality there.
Yeah.
And I mean that in a good way.
I was going to say it's very real, and it's similar. New Mexico has it as well.
Yes.
Arizona, New Mexico has that element.
Yes.
But
it's subtle. It's subtle.
Unlike Texas, they don't talk about it.
Right. It is subtle.
That's the difference.
Yeah, it really
Texas
is.
Tends to,
but they're ornery. Those cats are
ornery
in Arizona. There's some ornery motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah, they are, but they don't make it a point of being like, I am this.
No. It's very subtle. It's very subtle.
Yeah. It's a different vibe. Scarlet Rose. And good, you can explain this one too. Hi guys, did you hear Tucker now claims Shabbat is behind the strikes in Iran? Somebody said Shabbat is a type.
Well, first of all, it's Kabad. It's not
Kabad.
It's not CH. It's Kabad. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but I did hear him denouncing Kabad, which is really bizarre because
aren't they like
nobody does more work for the poor and not just Jews and Gentiles as well. I mean, this is an organization that deals with the impoverished people around the world. I mean, I was a drug counselor for Kabad. I did group therapy. They have a drug program here in LA that's been there for a long time that takes in people from all walks of life in West LA. And I was a therapist there for them, doing group therapy for a couple of years. They are the nicest people I've ever met in my life. These are not people who are trying to make a buck off drug addiction like every other schnorrer in LA with a drug rehab. These people were dealing with addiction as a disease. And the people running the program were really righteous people, and they were not religious fanatics at all. They were completely into the science of addiction and it was fun working with them. The kids were maniacs, but the people running the program were wonderful. So I've had firsthand experience with Kabod. I don't know what I don't know what Tucker's firsthand experience is with Kabod, but he's now dragged them into his crazy anti-Jew hatred.
Yeah, that was the impression I got. Is that like they're the Shriners? Like, you know,
I don't know what
really charity driven, just very, very nice people, very peace oriented, loving.
Yeah,
kind of like
they're all over the world. I mean, they help Jews in foreign countries, but they help regular non-Jews too.
All right. Let me see. Taylor Pollock. Hi, really enjoying the show tonight. What do Jewish people in Hollywood think about the rampant anti-Semitism? What are they doing about it? Few have spoken up. Schwimmer and Seinfeld are two.
Well, first of all, there's 7 questions in there for $9.99, Taylor Pollock, and I appreciate your questions. However, it's a very broad brush. There is no thing called the Jewish people of Hollywood. I just want you to know that's not an organization. We don't all meet somewhere secretly and talk among the Jewish people of Hollywood. The rampant anti-Semitism is broken down by, whose ox is being gored. The real driving force behind combating the rampant anti-Semitism is from studio executives who are Jewish, because those guys are usually the most secure mentally, because they have a business head, and those are the guys who have really been putting their money where their mouth is and supporting people on the Republican side. The leftist community you're obviously seeing them. Larry Miller, Seinfeld on the right, a lot of guys on the conservative right who are Jewish have spoken out. Absolutely. So you're seeing that as well from people who have said stuff out loud.
Yeah, and it's not a lot. I mean, like Seinfeld has enough juice that he can say whatever the hell he wants.
But there's others. I mean, there are others who have spoken out against it. I mean, they didn't speak out against it. It goes back to the same thing happened in Nazi Germany. The first guy to speak out against the Nazis was Jack Warner, the head of Warner Brothers, and that was in 1934, 1935. Making House on 92nd Street. And movies of that ilk came out of the Warner Brothers lot. The same thing's going to happen right now because of the group that's taking over Warner Brothers from Paramount, which is Larry Ellison's family and David Ellison, and somebody who's running CBS News right now. That is those are logical supporters of the state of Israel. Barry Weiss being one of them, and Ellison's son David, and others.
And Barry Weiss has a lot of headwinds against her. It makes you feel like it's more than her being a former New York Times person.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a reason behind it. Who knows?
Yeah, but the people who are fighting back quietly, and I trust their judgment in doing this because they know how to do this fight.
All right, but this is Lisa D's got a very interesting point here, and I think it's telling. And you saw this. You saw that Marjorie Taylor Greene is promoting Tucker for president in 2028. Is knifing who? Who would that be knifing directly? It doesn't harm Trump.
No,
not at all.
JD Vance.
So what about her friend JD? I thought they were tied. I thought they like JD, and JD was no. Apparently, there's really something else going on here. So.
Well, the best case scenario for them would be that there's a primary for the 2028 Republican nomination, and even if there is, I think they'll be crushed. And their best goal is to have a primary and to create chaos on the Republican right, but they will be crushed in that primary system.
Yeah.
So maybe it's for the good.
Let me see. Sean Lucan with $50. Thank you very much. Very, very generous. And Sean donates a lot of memberships to the channel, which we deeply, deeply appreciate. Especially, by the way, we were demonetized on Friday. You know that, right?
For what reason?
I don't know. They remonetized it after some time went by and everything already went by. So thanks a lot, YouTube. Lowest numbers out there. So thank God for the Seans of the world. let's see. Great show as always, gentlemen. Happy St. Patty's Day. Well, thank you very much, Sean. Seriously. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Pirate Ken's got an interesting question, and I think worth speculating.
Pirate Ken always has an interesting question. What does he have today, Larry?
Here's the question. Could you
This
give
guy's
us
obsessed with Nixon, by the way, which is fine.
fine by me? Could you give us your basic analysis of what today's situation with Cuba would be like if Richard Nixon had won the election and set the political tone in 1960?
Well, the success of the Bay of Pigs, Nixon or no Nixon, if the Bay of Pigs had been successful, none of this would be happening, Kenny. And I've said this repeatedly. People attacking me on the left for this is some sort of revisionism. But the reality of it is that if Kennedy had gone through with what the Joint Chiefs had insisted upon and what Kennedy and what Nixon and Eisenhower had planned, these people would not have been under the brutal Castro regime for 60 years. And we either owe them reparations or something. But nevertheless, it should have gone through the way Nixon and Eisenhower had planned it and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I'm not talking about the Cuban Missile Crisis. I know you're confusing the two of them in the chat right now. I'm talking about the Bay of Pigs. And the failure of the Bay of Pigs opened the door to Soviet aggression in the Western Hemisphere, seeing the weakness of Jack Kennedy and not following through on the Bay of Pigs and toppling the Castro regime.
Wait, Jack Kennedy was strong and he was bold, Mark.
Sure
he was the strongest of us all and a hero. And yeah, anyway.
I mean, it would have been so easy to finish this thing off, but it reminds me of a lot of military blunders throughout the 20th century on the American side, where they just don't have the guts to finish off these jobs.
Yeah. And it's I mean, there's a lot of examples. It's not
I know
just,
we don't have time to get into them all, but you're right, Eric. I mean, there's
and that's
so
why
many
Trump is so
examples.
shocking, because he's such a man of action in comparison
to these
to
others.
what has happened before. It's just like,
Well, they were asking the
mind-boggling.
Democrat on two-way this morning, will the Democrats be embarrassed when Trump resolves this thing in a favorable light, having denounced it since day one, rooting for Iran to win on day two, and then attacking Trump, saying that with propaganda for the next 14 days.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I guess that's the my solace is that everybody who's going on and 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 on, it's like, okay, well, let's see where we are in 30 days. And if everybody is back home,
yeah,
and there's some sort of transitional leadership in Iran and things are stable down, and it's like, what are you going to say then? What are you going to say?
They'll move on to the next. They'll simply say nothing and move on to the next event, which is what they do. Look, until you eradicate the beast, until you go into their den and take them out, and I'm not talking about Iran, I'm talking about American news media, this is going to continue to undermine our troops in the field and our American military and our geopolitical view of the world. They have to be taken out. You can't have, it would be the equivalent of having Soviet state television broadcasting in the United States during the Cold War every single night on TV. That's currently what we have going on these multiple networks. Again, the Brandon Carr, again, saber rattling with threatening ABC News for fake news. They never do a fucking thing. They don't care that Brandon Carr is threatening their license until you pull the fucking license, Carr, you scared piece of shit, you bureaucratic piece of crap. He wrote just to fill in, he wrote a nasty letter to ABC. Their license is coming up for renewal. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Those are called strongly worded letters.
Strongly worded letters. Used to be 6 years to renew the license. When FDR became president, he immediately reduced it to 2 years. Every 2 years, the head of the network had to report to FDR during the war and explain why they believe they should have a renewal of their license after 24 months. This putz here doesn't even know the history of the FCC and how to use the power that it has. this schmuck.
Well, it is what it is. Now, for now and for the show, have we told you people about locals? Mark, tell us about locals.
I don't know about locals, but I just want to say that Crockett's bodyguard was killed by a SWAT team.
Yes.
And he was impersonating a police. Do you know this story? Yeah. I've been out of town, but apparently he was killed by a SWAT team impersonating an officer, Eric.
He was killed in a shootout in a hospital garage.
Wow.
Impersonating, yes. What a shock. I mean, out of all the people whose staff it was.
I know.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
And then this other story about the British police picking up this Facebook poster at Manchester Airport in London, and outside of London, returning to UK, was immediately arrested for putting up some anti-immigration Facebook post when they were on vacation. They were immediately arrested. This is a fascist regime. I'm going to continue to say it. The fact that this goes on, and they are a member of NATO, they're a member of our Five Eyes, they're a member of the United Nations, is fucking outrageous. These people have to take to the streets and end this guy's regime. This guy meaning Starmer. This fascist regime is arresting their own people for putting stuff on Facebook. This has got to stop. Trump has got to say something. Obviously, Musk has said repeated things about it. But picking up people after they come back, it's just incomprehensible to me, that you would be arrested by your own government coming back from vacation for something you may or may not have posted on Facebook. I can't get my mind around it. It's so innocuous and so clearly fascism, and nobody says a fucking word about it.
Well, you saw that. Remember, I shared a couple months ago about the guy who posted a picture of himself on a range shooting on LinkedIn and lost everything. Arrested, the whole works.
But this is J6 on steroids for an entire nation every fucking day. That's what's going on over there. And look, either you cut them loose, either you economically blockade them, or you denounce them and cut them off. But something's got to give. You can't just act like everything's fucking hunky-dory and write a strongly worded Truth Social post. That's like writing one to the Third Reich at this point.
Well, by the way, while we're on England, one piece of breaking news from there, it's on the interesting side.
Right.
Banksy's been revealed.
Yeah, I know, but I don't even know what that means, really. I mean, revealed as what? David Jones or something? Or
well, he changed his name to David Jones. His real name is Robin Gunningham.
Right,
He's,
but what does that mean?
Bristol. Well, he changed his name to David Jones to fly under the radar, which does work pretty well. I can tell you that the longest mole in the United States, the KGB mole, I've interviewed him before. The only reason he got caught is because when the Soviet Union fell and they turned over the names.
Oh yeah,
the name he used was Jack Barsky.
Well, David Jones.
He would not have been caught.
David Jones was the lead singer for the Monkees, so
David Jones was somebody else too.
David Jones. Excuse me.
David Bowie.
Right. So it's obviously
also
some
David Jones.
Banksy. It might be a Banksy joke, but at the end of the day, I don't know if it changes the value of his artwork.
No, it'll probably just make it a little more difficult for him to get around. But yeah, whatever it is. But we're going to continue this discussion on locals.
So you say.
I'm there to discuss things with the cool people at locals. I don't know about you. I don't know if you're in the mood or you want to, but
I don't care. I mean, I think it's fun over there, and I'm glad that it's a private club and nobody could get in. And it's restricted. It's also restricted. You can't, even if you're Jewish, you can't get in.
Mark had to fill out many forms
and go back multiple generations of bloodline, all the way back to Dublin, which is not that many multiple generations. I think it's like 3.
Well, Mark has special dispensation from his Irish side,
right,
to go to locals, and so we're allowing
Dublin
that today.
All I could say is there's the old song my Irish father once told me: Give Ireland back to the Irish, give Lapland back to the Laps, give Ireland back to the Irish, and give Yoko back to the Japs. I learned that at an early age from my Irish pappy.
All right. On that note, everybody, there's a link below. It's unstructured.locals.
Oh yeah, it's unstructured.locals.com. Come on over. We'll talk about Yoko and the Japs and some other more ethnically fueled.
Mark's trying to get us demonetized before he leaves. So anyway.
Japs.